evening, councillors, members of the gallery and to our viewers live streaming tonight's meeting. My name is Alan Getley and I'm the Mayor of the Buloke Shire and I am the chairperson of tonight's meeting. It's my pleasure to welcome you to tonight's council meeting, and could we be upstanding, please? We acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we are meeting this evening and pay our respects to their elders and to the elders of any other communities who may be here today. Thank you. This council meeting is being recorded and web streamed live to the council's website via YouTube. The recording will also be available on video on demand. Attendees are advised that they will be recorded during the meeting. As a reminder that as councillors we will act in accordance with the Council Model Code of Conduct, which will support the principles of leadership and good governance that secures public confidence in the office of councillor. I'd like to introduce the councillors in attendance tonight. Councillor Stephen Barrett, Lower Avoca Ward, Councillor Charmaine Delaney, Mount Jeffcott Ward, Councillor Bernadette Hogan, Mallee Ward, Councillor Graham Milne, Mount Jeffcott Ward, and Councillor Bruce Stafford, Lower Avoca Ward. I'd also like to introduce Mr Daniel McLaughlin for his first meeting as the Interim Chief Executive Officer, and the Executive Management Team, Governance Manager and Senior Executive Assistants. Gaynor Acton, Director of Community Development, Paula Garda, Acting Director of Infrastructure and Delivery, Jennifer Hewitt, Manager of Governance, and Georgia Brown, Senior Executive Assistant. Councillors will note that for this evening's meeting there has been an addendum circulated to councillors on the Monday 15th of September 2025 for consideration in this meeting, in line with the Council's governance rules. Councillors require a procedural motion to be moved for the change in the order of business that has been considered at this evening's meetings. Councillors, do I have a motion to that effect, please?
Yes, Mr Mayor, I have a motion here for you to move that council change. To move the council change the order of business for council meeting on the 17th of September 2025 to include the addendum report of community grants and sponsorships as circulated on the 15th of September 2025 at point 8.2.6. All other items to remain as they were ordered in the agenda as circulated, Mr Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Milne. Do I have a seconder for that, please? Councillor Delaney. All those in favour? That's carried. Thank you. Apologies. I have one tonight from Jenna Allen, who's unwell. Confirmation of minutes of previous meeting. Councillors, could I please have a motion that the confirmation of the minutes of the council meeting that were held on the 20th of August 2025. A mover, please. Councillor Barrett, and a seconder. Councillor Hogan. All those in favour?
Yep.
That's carried. Thank you. Leave of absence. Are there any requests for leave of absence, councillors?
No.
No. Thank you. Item 5, disclosure of pecuniary and conflict of interest. We have received one declaration of conflict of interest from Councillor Stafford for this meeting. The conflict has been declared as general conflict and is in relation to 8.2.5, community grants and sponsorships for the Wheels on A79 application. Councillors and officers, are there any other conflicts of interest to declare tonight?
No.
No, thank you. Item 6, questions for the public. Council has received one question for this evening. Mr McLaughlin will read the question.
Thank you, Mayor. This question is from Darryl Warren of Donald. Section 97 of the Local Government Act requires the CEO to present to Council at a meeting open to the public a quarterly budget report as soon as possible at the end of each quarter. In the 2023-2024 annual report, the Mayor and the CEO reported the Buloke Shire failed to comply with the Act by not providing such a report. A review of the 2024-2025 budget year would indicate that again the Buloke Shire will fail to comply with the Act. The last financial report tabled at a council meeting was in May 2025 and covered the quarter ending March 31. Given the ongoing underlying budget deficits of the Shire budgets, when can ratepayers and more importantly councillors be provided with current financial information?
Thank you, Mr McLaughlin, and I'll provide the answer. The Local Government Act 2020 does not explicitly require council to publish a financial report for the quarter ending June, as it coincides with the financial year end. Rather than issue a separate quarterly report, Buloke Council, like many other councils across the state, prepares the audited annual financial returns, which provide a complete and accurate picture of the council's financials at year's end. Releasing unaudited June quarter report alongside audited annual statements would unnecessarily duplicate the year-end work and create confusion. The current process ensures accuracy, efficiency and compliance with the Local Government Act and accounting standards, while maintaining transparency through the public available audited annual report. As in years past, the draft financial statements are submitted to the Audit and Risk Committee for independent review and endorsement before being presented to Council and finalised by the auditors. The review lets the Audit and Risk Committee, independent auditors, management address issues and confirm the compliance with accounting standards and the legislation before Council adopts them in October.
Comment, Mr Mayor, if I can please. In this instance, I'm going to agree with ex-councillor Warren, Mr Warren from Donald, because the fact that we haven't had a finance report since the end of May, which dealt with figures from the end of to the end of March, leaves me somewhat bewildered, I guess, and I understand the rules and the regulations, but for the purpose of transparency and the purpose of keeping an eye on our financials from a councillor perspective, I just find that the laws and the rules that are in place probably let us down a lot, given the push that we have monitors and people put into councils like this to look at financial sustainability, and we can't see the up-to-date financial figures, Mr Mayor. So I tend to agree with Mr Warren on this, and will continue in the effort to have more regular financial updates, so that we can keep a close eye on what our finances look like as a Shire, Mr Mayor.
Thank you. Councillor Milne. Item 7, procedural item 7.1, report of councillor assemblies. Councillors, is there a motion to receive the report of councillor assemblies, please? Councillor Stafford and Councillor Hogan, I think that was your hand as a seconder?
Yep.
Thank you. All those in favour?
Right. Yep.
That's carried. Thank you. (7.2) Status of action of past council meetings resolutions. Councillor, is there a motion to receive the status of action of past council meeting resolutions, please? Councillor Barrett, and a seconder, please.
Yeah.
Councillor Delaney. Any discussion on that, Councillor Barrett?
No, Mr Mayor, I think it's all pretty much as per table.
Thank you. Councillor Delaney. Councillor Milne, did you?
Thank you, and through you, Mr Mayor. Just a couple of clarifications, if I can. On page 10 of the agenda, the second last item, 2008-2025, internal resolution procedure. There's no comment or status of action, but I believe we've dealt with this.
I would agree through the Mayor, Councillor Milne, I would agree that we have that status should be as complete.
And can I make the same comment, I guess, for, and I stand to be corrected on this, but page 11, the second last item, the Birchip Recreation Reserve Master Plan. We've endorsed that master plan.
Through the Mayor again, Councillor Milne, this may be a case that it remains a status of in progress for the period of one council meeting,
Right.
perhaps. But I'll have to take the query on advisement, and we'll look at that for the next meeting.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. All those in favour? That's carried. Thank you. 8, general business, and 8.1 policy reports, and 8.11 discretionary financial reserves policy. Councillors, do I have a motion for this one, please? Councillor Hogan, and a seconder? Councillor Delaney. Councillor Hogan.
The recommendation is that council adopt the discretionary financial reserves policy.
Thank you. Councillor Delaney, any other councillor? Councillor?
Yeah, just through you, Mr. Mayor, this policy, I think, is something that we should well and truly grasp, because it's a bit of a way forward for council to recognise our obligations going forward on some things that are going to cost a lot of money, and be able to set money aside for these things, and to be able to plan for some unknowns, opportunities that might come along through other funding opportunities. So I think this is a great policy to put in place going forward, and will put council in good stead to be in a legal situation that allows these sort of things to happen, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. I put that to the vote. All those in favour?
Aye.
That's carried. Thank you.
Can I ask a question, Mr. Mayor, just off the cuff, or it'll probably can be taken on notice, with the waste reserve that's noted as one of the reserve potentials in this policy, we would have an amount set aside in the current budget for remediation works on landfills. I'm happy to take that on notice, because it's a late question, but and I could ask it later, but it's relevant now. So,
Yeah, through the Mayor, I'm happy to confirm that there is a waste reserve for remediation, namely also that it aligns with the former Sea Lake landfill site. However, given I'm certainly not the author of the report, I'm happy to take it on notice and provide further detail.
yep. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. 8.2.1 draft financial plan 2025 to 2035. Sorry, I was looking to read that. Councillors, do I have a motion for this item, please? Councillor Barrett, and do I have a seconder, please?
Yeah, happy to second that, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Milne. Councillor Barrett, the motion, please.
Yeah, the motion, sorry, just bear with me for a second, I'll just get back down. Not quite up with technology like everybody else at the moment. Excuse me. The council endorsed the draft financial plan for 2025 to 2035 for public exhibition. Give public notice of the draft financial plan 2025-2035 on council's website, and invites written submissions from Thursday the 18th of September until Thursday the 9th of October 2025. And if I'll go down here a little bit further, slightly go down. Don't want to move. Come sorry, up there. And notes that the financial plan 2025 and 2035 will be considered for adoption at the council meeting to be held on 15th of October 2025.
Thank you, councillor Barrett. We did miss
Did I
notes
miss
3 and
something?
4, but I'm assuming you're including them in the motion.
Yes, I am. Sorry,
No,
Mr
you're
Mayor.
right. Thank you. Any further discussion, councillor Hagan?
I think we have to just, before this goes out for public exhibition, we really have to let people know that this is a really comprehensive document, and it's a long-term forecast for where we're going to be in 10 years' time, and it's giving the public an opportunity to be able to make some comments in relation to where we're travelling, and I think, you know, that discussion will be held at a later time, but I think it would be very remiss of us not to recommend people to have a look at this when it does go out. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Mill.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. One of these particular plans are very important in the life of a council and future councils, and very important for the community to understand exactly where we're going. But the point I'd like to make is the amount of work that's gone into putting these together, Mr Mayor, putting these plans up, and certainly the workshops, but the work that the staff have done to give us the best and most accurate look at where we might be in 10 years' time is to be commended. And I would really hope that that our public do take the time to read this and make comment where it might be appropriate for any changes or any comments, anything that needs to come back to us. But these are very important documents, and while we understand that some of these are assumptions, because you can't forecast what's going to happen in years to come, it forms the basis of our decision making going forward, which is very important, Mr Mayor.
Thank you, councillor Mill. So I put that to the vote. All those in favour?
Aye.
That's carried. Thank you. 8.2.2, draft 2025 to 2035 asset plan. And I do note there, I'll just bring my sheet up here. Councillors' officers have advised that an administrative error in the recommendation, item 1, should read 2025 to 2035. Please note for the potential motion. Thank you. And councillors, do I have a motion for this item?
Is this 8.2.1?
8.2.2.
8.2.2. Yeah, I'm happy to.
Councillor Hogan, and a seconder, please. Councillor Delaney. Councillor Hogan, the motion, please.
Firstly, that council endorse the 2026 to 2035 asset plan for public exhibition. 2, that the council gives public notice of the draft 25 to 2035 asset plan on council's website, and invites written submissions from Thursday the 18th of September 2025 until Thursday the 9th of October 2025. Thirdly, that council notes that in accordance with section 93 and section 96(1)(b) of the Local Government Act 2020, consultation will be undertaken in accordance with council's community engagement policy. That council, at point 4, that council notes that any person who makes a written submission in relation to the draft 25 to 35 asset plan may be heard by council on Wednesday the 8th of October 2025. And that point 5, that council notes that the 2025 to 2035 asset plan will be considered for adoption at the council meeting to be held on the 15th of October 2025.
Thank you, Councillor Hogan. Councillor Delaney, nothing from you. Other councillors? Councillor Mill.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Another one of these very important documents, and we read in here the substantial list and value of our assets going forward. We need to have a good look at these, and this document sets us up to do that. Our long-term sustainability will rely on good decisions in this area, and being able to make those decisions on good, sound knowledge and advice will come out of will be what we get out of this policy, and it will guide us to setting ourselves up for the future in a better light than probably we are now with the number of assets. So some tough decisions to be made down the track, but a good policy to set the discussion going.
Thank you, Councillor Milne. Any other councillor comment? Put that to the vote.
That's a...
Oh.
Oh, sorry.
Did you have a comment?
Oh, I just wanted to say the reading of the asset renewal funding gap reads at $63 million over the next 10 years, and I think that's a very important reason for people, when this goes to public exhibition, to have a look. That's a big figure and that needs to be dealt with, and as a council, our council and future councils need to come up with strategies to deal with how we handle that and the level of service that these assets that are currently costing this money are providing to our communities. So that's all.
Thank you, Councillor Hogan. Put that to the vote. All those in favour?
Aye.
That's carried. Thank you. 8.2.3, draft road management plan. Councillors, could I have a mover for this, please?
Got to get there first.
Oh.
Yeah, happy to move that, Mr Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Milne. And a seconder, please.
Happy to second that.
Councillor Hogan. Councillor Milne, the motion, please.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. The recommendation is that Council endorse the draft road management plan for public exhibition. At point 2, gives public notice of the draft road management plan on Council's website and invites written submissions from Thursday the 18th of September 2025 until Thursday the 9th of October 2025. Point 3, notes that consultation will be undertaken in accordance with Council's community engagement policy. 4, notes that any person who makes a written submission in relation to the draft road management plan may be heard by Council on Wednesday the 8th of October 2025. And at 5, notes that the draft road management plan will be considered for adoption at the Council meeting to be held on the 15th of October 2025. Mr Mayor.
Thank you. Any further comment, Councillor
Milne? As I've said, and it's going to be a very busy period for people to consult on all these things, and I guess it's the nature of the beast, the fact that these have all got to come up in the first 12 months after an election and be reviewed. That these things all come at once, but some very important work to be noted here as well, with the amount of work that's gone into preparing this. And while I questioned the fact that we didn't have a map to go with it, that's been explained to me that we're better off having those in a separate as a separate document. But this will give our ratepayers the information they require to understand how we classify our roads and the intervention periods for maintenance and repairs, and it's another one of those that I strongly urge our ratepayers to look at. At times, this particular policy has had very little interaction with the public when we've had open days and public consultation days. So it's an important document. It accounts for probably a large part of our asset, and it needs to be looked at in the right light, Mr Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Milne. Councillor Hogan.
No, just reiterate what Councillor Milne has said.
Councillor Barrett.
The only other thing I'd say, Mr Mayor, is if we as a council group can stress the importance of this document, because this is the one that we get most of our complaints about, is our roads, and so I think this needs to be explained very well to the community as it goes out.
Thank you, Councillor Barrett. I put that to the vote. All those in favour?
Right.
That's carried. Thank you. 8.2.4, draft Buloke Health and Wellbeing Plan 2035. Do I have a mover for this, please? Councillor Delaney and a seconder.
Happy to second that.
Councillor Hogan. Councillor Delaney, the motion, please.
The council endorses the draft Buloke Health and Wellbeing Plan 2025 to 2035 to go out on public exhibition for feedback from Thursday the 18th of September 2025 to Wednesday the 8th of October 2025.
Thank you. Any further discussion, Councillor Delaney? Councillor Hogan?
No, just to note that there's been quite a lot of community involvement in the preparation of this plan, and I hope that those community bodies that have been involved will take the time to have a good look at it.
Any other councillors? Put that to the vote. All those in favour? That's carried. 8.2. I better get another 2.5.
Should be 8.2.5.
Yeah, that's right. I've got that too. At this stage, Councillor Stafford, I will ask that you leave the chamber, as you have a conflict of interest in this one. All right. 8.2.5, community grants and sponsorship. Do I have a mover for this, please?
Happy to
Councillor
move.
Hogan, and do I have a seconder? Councillor Delaney. Councillor Hogan, the motion, please.
That council firstly approves the officer recommendation to fund the following projects under the Community Grants Program. $1,273 to the Charlton Agricultural and Pastoral Society Incorporated, the project Level Up for gaming events. $2,000 to the Granite Community Church Incorporated, the project to put in a storage cupboard to be used for the youth group. $400 for the Charlton Golden Grahams Museum for Victorian Collections training. $1,000 to Wheels on A79, which is auspiced by the Charlton Neighbourhood House for a Wheels on A79 show and shine event. And number 2, that council approves the officer recommendation to fund the following project under the Sustainability Grants Program, which is $2,169.33 to the Donald Men's Shed for their project Beating the Blues. Oh, more. Hang on. Number 3, council approves the officer recommendation to fund the following project under the Sponsorship Grants Program. $500 to the Donald Pastoral and Agricultural Society Incorporated for the project the Friday Family Evening, shining a light on the health and wellbeing of our community.
Thank you, Councillor Hogan. And any further comment, Councillor Hogan?
No, just these are really good applications which have been assessed by our teams to be worthy of funding.
Councillor Delaney?
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Only that I note there's been a strong application processes on all fields. It's good to see the numbers coming through and definitely worthy projects. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other councillor?
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Only also to note that there are more applications in the system which we suggest is people are starting to get on board with this this system and work it out. So good to see that this is all coming to us. Do you want this other? So yeah, leave it at that. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Thank you. And I put that to the vote. And then all those in favour? That's carried. Thank you. Somebody bring Councillor Barrett back into the chamber, please. You tell him that the grant was approved. I do. Yeah.
That particular.
Yeah, that A79 one. $1,000 one.
Councillor Stafford, I can confirm that the grant of $1,000 to Wheels on A79, auspiced by the Charlton Neighbourhood House Project. Wheels on A79 show and shine. The recommendation was accepted by council.
So 8.2.6 is the officer's motion that was moved, and where are we? No, yeah, click on this one up here. No worries. So 8.2.6 is community grants and sponsorship again, and councillors, I am looking for a motion, please.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I'd like to move a motion that that Council 1 defers the decision required of this report to a later council meeting pending further information. 2, receives further specific information from the relevant officers regarding the sustainable outcomes, materials and items proposed for purchase as part of the application within a future council report. And 3, receives a council report seeking a decision of council and an officer recommendation for the same application to the online council meeting which has been called by the Mayor for Monday the 22nd of September 2025. Mr Mayor.
Can I have a seconder for that, please? Councillor Barrett, thank you. Councillor Milne, any further discussion on that?
Look, only to clarify or to reiterate what the motion calls for, and that is just a little bit more information on the specifics of this particular application, where I probably find that there's not enough in what is required or what's proposed to be purchased, as well as the balance of the suggested amount that will be spent and what that's made up of, and just how that will make up part of the application, Mr Mayor.
Thank you. Councillor Barrett?
Yeah, I just concur with Councillor Milne that we need a bit more information, and yeah, I think it could be forthcoming by Monday.
Thank you, Councillor Barrett. Any other councillor comments? No. I'll put that to the vote. So all those in favour?
Aye.
That's carried. 8.3, financial report. 8.4, organisational report. Sorry, 8.3, there was nothing. Appointment of Audit and Risk Committee, independent member, Audit and Risk Committee Chair.
Happy to.
Councillor Hogan, move that. And a seconder, please. Councillor Delaney. I can't seem to find it on my screen. Just bear with me for a second. There we go. Thank you. Councillor Hogan, the motion, please.
Okay. As one of the 2 councillor representatives on this committee, I'm happy to recommend that council firstly reappoint Mr Dean Slay as an independent member of the Audit and Risk Committee for a period of 3 years, commencing on the 15th of November 2025 and concluding on the 14th of November 2028. Secondly, that council reappoint Mr Dean Slay as the chair of the Audit and Risk Committee for a period of 2 years, commencing on 15th of November 2025 and concluding on the 14th of November 2027.
Thank you. Anything further to add, Councillor?
No, that we're very happy to have Mr Dean Slay, a man of his his experience on our committee.
Councillor Delaney?
Simply concur. Thank you, Mayor.
Any other councillors?
No.
I put that to the vote. So all those in favour?
Yep.
That's carried. Thank you. 8.5, reports from councillors. We'll start with Councillor Hogan. Thank you.
Okay, fairly busy month. Just of note, Councillor Delaney and I attended the Local Government Women's Association conference in Melbourne this month, and it was a really great networking event. It was very well attended. We had some really, really informative speakers, and yeah, no, it was. Hopefully, we'll be going again next year. And we've also had a lot of workshops, which everybody has been working in: the economic development and tourism strategy workshop, the financial workshops, and just commend the staff for all the work they've put in, as Councillor Milne referred to before. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Delaney.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Yes, as Councillor Hogan mentioned, going to the ALGO conference was certainly a great networking opportunity, and thanks to the Hume Council for hosting the event, and ALGO for supplying us with the opportunity. Speaking to the financial plan, the assets plan, I'd like to thank the staff for their efforts involved in that, and you know, the opportunity to attend a lot of meetings during the normal course of the month.
Thank you. Councillor Barrett.
Yes, thanks, Mr Mayor. I've had a pretty quiet month, apart from attending normal council matters, as in briefings and attending other things that come up with council. Had a couple of inquiries from some people regarding our gutters and that sort of thing in the town, but and I'll put that request through the appropriate channels. Also had a suggestion on the weekend, which I attended the grand final, which Quarter Lions won, on both sets, so I'll put that on. I had a suggestion there from a couple of people that we have in Broadway hands like we do as in Broadway and Hollywood, like that sort of thing, like hands on the pavement. And also another suggestion was the Mount Witchy, have a Mount Witchy sign, as in something like Hollywood, take advantage of our Broadway. That was a suggestion put to me on the weekend, and I said I'd convey that to council for see where that went. And but apart from that, I just like to wish the Lions congratulations, and I believe we did have one of our founding mayors or passed away just recently, who was Buloke Shire, and I'd like that noted. I don't know the gentleman myself, but I just like that noted. Thank you.
I think that was acknowledged.
Thank you. Councillor Milne.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Just run briefly through. I missed the send-off of the CEO, the former CEO, as I had a funeral for a mate that day. But I was able to wish him all the best at his last ordinary meeting. Attended the Buloke Tourism meeting in Nandaly, which was a good meeting, very informative meeting and well attended. And the hospitality in Nandaly, as always, is something to be noted. And actually, we get looked after pretty much everywhere, but Nandaly did us a good. August also, we had the asset meeting, which was a great meeting, and the results of that we can see tonight. Also attended the Donald Family Precinct Rec Reserve meeting in Donald and Donald 2000, along with Councillor Delaney. 1st of September, Birchip briefing, and there were some discussions on the current status of the silo project up there and other things. I removed myself from that meeting partway through because I just thought I was hindering the process, being the councillor and open discussion. So I removed myself from that particular meeting. 3rd of September we had the briefing in Donald, which we all know about, was a great a bit of an eye-opener. September the 8th in Watcham, the Donald History Group met in Watcham for their monthly meeting in the hall, and they undertook a field trip in their words, to Jim Petrie's workshop where he does his stonemason work, and that was a follow-up from a previous talk that he'd given at a monthly meeting late last year. So they also attended the Watcham Community Hub and observed the large amount of archive and minute books and stuff that we've got there that needs to be dealt with, as well as having a look through the community-owned church. Progress Committee, recently we had the EcoDev and Tourism Workshop, plus Audit and Risk, and we've also had the Wimmera Group of Councils Alliance formation meeting in Horsham the other day, with a range of topics and priorities discussed, and I think that's a good positive move for us to align ourselves with other like-minded councils who have similar issues to work through and lobby in numbers at government level. Monday was the Municipal Fire Prevention Committee meeting here in Wycheproof. And out of that we've got a couple of workshops to finish for roadside and agricultural topics. And then last night we had the Wimmera Lakes Water Alliance AGM and general meeting in Birchip. It's been 2 years since, I think they said last night, since I've had one of these, and well overdue, but it gives us an update on all things to do with water, and GWM were there last night to confirm that they've backed the allocation of recreational water again this year, and that at this point in time it's not under threat. The AGM returned Adam Campbell as chair. Adam's been there for a while. Andrew Lee as vice president, who's also been in that chair for a while, and they installed Jack Goldsmith as secretary treasurer, replacing his father James, who has been doing it for a number of years and opted out. So while we probably don't see a lot from that committee publicly, it does a lot of work in the background to ensure water for recreation lakes. And the biggest fight that particular group has at the moment is to get the recreation water back on the list of give me a word, priority.
High security.
That's the word I'm looking for. Of priority, which is what it was when the Wimmera Mallee pipeline system was first put into use. It has slipped off the priority list in that time, and we're working hard to get that back. We've sent deputation to Melbourne. There's been stuff go down as far as a petition, and signed and supported by a lot of local organisations. But at this point it's still not being accepted. So a lot of work to do there. And today, of course, we've had interviews for CEO and tonight's meeting. So
Thank you, Councillor.
I'll leave it at that, Mr Mayor.
Councillor Stafford.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I think it's been reasonably quiet again, but I think that's coming to an end. October's normally a pretty busy time for community events in Charlton, at least anyway. Two things outside of the usual briefings, etc., that I've attended. First, my Coffee with a Councillor session, which is in conjunction with the Charlton Neighbourhood House and the Charlton Forum meeting last night, and the key theme at both of those was concerns around the closure of the hall and the library, and when they're going to be reopening. It's pretty clear that the uncertainty around these facilities is something the community wants to see resolved, and I understand there's going to be some further engagement with the committee on that as we get more and more information to hand. But I think it's really important that we do continue that engagement, because that was one thing I found disappointing was the lack of communication in the area. One other thing at Forum, they also approved last night the purchase of some new Welcome to Charlton signs to be installed on the 5 major entrances into town, so that'll be something to keep an eye out for. And there's just a couple more things I'd like to mention. As a council, we often focus on A lot of the challenges we face as a rural shire, but look, I'm sure we all agree it's really important to recognise when we achieve good things, and the areas we really do stand out in. I'd like to take a minute to highlight two things, examples that demonstrate the strength and pride of our communities. I speak firstly about our education system. Recently the Herald Sun published a list of the top 100 public high schools in Victoria based on VCE performance. I was delighted to read that 3 Buloke schools made that list. Donald High came in at 94th, Wycheproof P12 came in at 25th, and most notably Charlton College ranked what I believe is an absolutely outstanding 8th position, placing it amongst some of the very best public schools in the state. And Charlton College also came in 45 in the top 100 Australian public high schools. So look, that's a fantastic result from all 3 schools, and a real credit to the staff, students and families behind them. Secondly, on the sporting front, over the weekend of the 23rd, 24th of August, Charlton Golf Club played host to the Victorian Sand Scrape Championships. That was a statewide event that brought in, I think, 129 competitors to town. They were a great success and showcased Charlton at its best. There was a display from Wheels on A79, which added some extra interest to the visitors, and it just highlighted how community groups can work together to support these local events. So I just want to say well done to those involved in firstly bringing the golf championship to Charlton, and also to those who provided support during the event.
Thank you, Councillor Stabbert. Very good news about the education. My report, apart from my ward duties and standard councillor jobs, been very busy on the media this month since Councillor Milne's notice of motion and Jade Bedham's speech in Parliament. I think I've just about covered every media outlet in Victoria and some in Australia. To push the fact that the DFRA funding is broken, and I have had some response to those things and further follow-up. So hopefully we can keep pushing that forward, and when we get a result. So that one's been a thing. Councillor Milne said we had that meeting in Horsham the other day, and we've also lent our support for the other councillors that are having issues with dingoes in the Little Desert. So we've signed a letter of support to try and help them with their stock losses there. So that letter's been signed and gone. And I note with disappointment that a number of letters that we've been signatory to as part of the Emergency Services Volunteers Fund have received response from the government in Melbourne, and they don't want to engage. We received a response that we should contact the Assistant Treasurer in one letter. We did that, and her reply was she was too busy to engage. So I find that very disappointing. We're not stopping there. I've received some information today that there's more letters to go in to the government, but yes, they just don't want to engage. So very disappointing. Thank you,
Mr. Mayor, can I just endorse your disappointment in those remarks? The lack of the ability for the government to recognise the bush in a lot of cases has become very evident, and it is imperative that they know we're here, they recognise that we have these issues, and listen and deal with us. They can't just keep sweeping us under the carpet, Mr. Mayor. It is not democracy as I understand it. It's bordering on some other form of government, but they need to understand that we are here and we're not going away, and that we will keep taking stuff to them. Even if it wastes their time, we'll keep taking it to them so that they hear us, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Bell.
Chinese.
Thank you. All right, 9, other business. 9.1, notice of motion, we have nil. 9.2, questions from councillors. Councillors, are there any questions tonight? Councillor Milne?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and I'm not sure how to handle this, but I'm going to tackle it straight up. I have a question from the public here, which didn't make tonight's list, and the gentleman concerned has a receipt for the question, and I'm hoping it's just an oversight, but I am going to read the question from the ratepayer, from this gentleman, and it is from Darryl Warren, and make no mistake, Mr. Warren is well and truly entrenched in the goings-on of council. So the question is, between October 2021 and October 2024, the state government announced 3 rounds of funding to develop land or construct cabins accommodation to address the housing crisis in the Buloke Shire. October 2021, 300,000 allocated to subdivide the former Sea Lake Primary School. April 2022, 2.3 million allocated for 14 cabins. October 2024, 1.9 million allocated for an additional 14 cabins. This totals 4.6 million for the delivery of 28 cabin units and 8 housing blocks across the Shire, aimed at alleviating the housing crisis in the Shire. In light of the ongoing housing crisis in the Shire, can Council provide a detailed update on the status of these projects, including 1. Project progress, how many cabins or blocks of land have been completed, are under construction or remain in planning? 2. Location breakdown, where are these cabins being built and how were the sites selected? 3. Timeline to completion, when is full delivery of all 28 cabins and land subdivision expected? 4. Budget allocation, how has the 4.6 million been spent or committed to date? Are there any cost overruns or savings? And the last comment is, given the level of discussion about housing, not only in the Shire but across Australia as a whole, it would be good to see how Buloke Shire is actioning this matter at present. Now, given that this is a late question, I don't expect an answer on the spot, but I would like, however, to find out why and be communicated to the question asker as to how the question may have been missed. He does have a receipt for it, which indicates it did arrive. So,
Thank you, Councillor Milne. We will deal with this one at our special meeting on Monday.
all right, thank you.
Any other questions, councillors?
Yeah, sorry, Mr Mayor, I just have one. During my last coffee with the councillor session, one community member noted that the replacement of the boards on the Charlton Swing Bridge had commenced, but appear to have stalled a little. And in previous discussions during our budget process, we noted that the board replacement should be completed before the OK Motels weekend. So my question is, do we have a target date for completion of that board replacement?
Take that on notice. Yeah, we'll take that question on notice, Councillor
That's
Stanley.
fine, thank you.
Nothing further. Thank you. 9.3 urgent business. We have none listed. 9.4 any other business. None listed. 9.5 matters that may exclude the public. We have nil, which brings us to item 10, meeting closed. So that concludes the meeting this evening, and I declare the council meeting closed at 7:54 p.m. Thank you all for your attendance and for your good work, councillors. Thank you.